Hey guys, today I am reacting to Geography Now, Finland. And if you could subscribe to the channel and like this video, that would really help out. Now let's get into it. Finland. Interesting.
Finland. Let's talk about this place that I totally have no preconceived biases towards.
Damn. Let's check out some of those images though too. I think I saw some food. Very short though, the clip. Oh, I thought I saw a Karelian pasty. Karelian pie.
Let's talk about this place that I totally have no preconceived biases towards.
It's time to learn geography.
No! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. Welcome to the dark sheep of Northern Europe. All the other Nordic countries are like la 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 la, while Finland is like We'll get into the heavy metal thing in a bit. But first,
well, I mean, Finland is pretty similar to Estonian and some other peoples in Russia, you know, other Finnish people. Other Finnic people, I guess. Uralic peoples, you know. So, I mean, those areas are just not under, you know, those areas just don't have their own sovereignty. So maybe if they did, they would have more similar neighbors. But yeah. Because, I mean, Finland is, you know, like a Finnic country, then a Uralic country, then a Nordic country. So there's a lot of identities under it, you know. But yeah.
Now just remember, Finland is Nordic, but don't call it Scandinavian. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's Nordic but not Scandinavian. And honestly, just, you know, as a non-Finnish person, I would say it's more like Finnic. And it's more similar to Estonian, in my opinion, but yeah.
That title only belongs to Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. First of all, Finland is located in Northern Europe, lying on the Gulf of Finland and the Gulf of Bothnia, east of all that Scandinavian stuff. To the west, they border Sweden on the Torne River, or the Tornionjoki, until it reaches the tri-point border with Norway at the three-country Cairnstone. And to the east, they border big ol' Russia with another tri-point border with Norway.
And Russia really tried to Russify Finland. And they succeeded with Karelia, unfortunately, and St. Petersburg. Yeah.
That looks like this. The country is divided into 19 regions, or maakunta, with the autonomous region that we'll talk about a little bit later, and the capital of Helsinki, located in the south on the Gulf of Finland, which is also the second most northern capital in the world after Reykjavik, Iceland. The country also owns about...
I mean, if Finland had its, you know, Russian parts, like Karelia and such, it would probably be seen as less Nordic as well, and just more Northern European. Because it's a bit of a similar situation with, like, Estonia, for example. Estonia is not really seen as Nordic by some other countries. But yet they're in Northern Europe, and, you know, because they were Russified, really. That's what a lot of people think, you know, with the Cold War, and the Soviet influence was too strong. That's why a lot of people don't consider Estonia a Nordic country. Personally, I think it doesn't matter if it is or not. I would consider it a Nordic country. You know, because it's not like the Scandinavian countries have, like the license to that word or anything, you know, whatever.
About 180,000 islands, the highest concentration of which found in the Baltic off the coast in the Åland archipelago. Keep in mind, parts of Finland also lie within the Arctic Circle. That's how far up north they are. And the three busiest airports are Helsinki, Oulu, and Rovaniemi. Now, my favorite part, territorial anomalies! First of all, with Russia, there are too many split islands and penne enclaves. The islands of Aikaniemi and Sursaari, Tarasin Sari Islands and lakes, the island in the Koitajoki River. Seriously, just play around with Google.
I mean, it's a land of lakes, and there is islands in those lakes. Also a bit of a messy split. But yeah, regarding the lake thing, it's a bit similar to Canada with all the lakes, and then the islands in the lakes, and the islands in the lakes. Yeah. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff, all considering.
Earth and see how many you can find. Finally, we get to Sweden and things get interesting. Most of the borders with Sweden run along rivers that eventually flow into the Torne River, and then we get a strange golf course that is split between the two countries in the town of Tornio and Sweden. Not only that, but then you have the strange Market Island right next to Åland in the Gulf of Bothnia, which has an inverted S-shaped border. It had to do with the lighthouse that was built belonging to Finland, but then Sweden was like, hey, it's too close to our side of the island. So they drew a border that was like this to give each side equal shares of the land. See this archipelago cluster of islands right here? Yeah, it belongs to Finland, even though most of the people here speak Swedish. Åland is Finland's strange little administrative anomaly. Long story short, it used to belong to Sweden, but then the Russians took over it in addition to Finland. Then after the Russian Revolution, Finland became free, and then the UN decided Åland should belong to Finland with autonomy. But then the Soviets started attacking again, and then Finland was like, nope, and then fought back relentlessly, defending themselves and Åland, and Sweden just kind of sat there and didn't really do much for Åland as they decided to stay neutral. Finland defending
Sweden being neutral.
Åland was kind of like the turning point. Now it's kind of like, Åland, come back to me! Look, Sweden, we had some great times, but you kind of really didn't do much for me when things got crazy. I mean, Finland defended me, okay? And he treats me well, okay? His tax incentives are great. It's time to move on. It's not me. It's you. Åland! Also, Finland kind of threatened that if Åland was ceded back to Sweden, they would demand the Tornio Valley. Now, before the whole Soviet thing, Finland operated the regions of Karelia, Sala, Kuusamo, Petsamo, and some extra islands.
Yep. Makes sense. I mean, all this Karelian area should be, like, part of Finland. Our own country, but it's not, unfortunately. And honestly, like, a lot of this area in northern Scandinavia and this, like, northern European area should be its own country too, like Lapland. Lapland could also join Finland, maybe? Because it's all, like, Uralic peoples, but yeah. Unfortunately, I doubt that's ever gonna happen. I doubt Lapland would ever be its own country.
Islands in the Gulf. After the wars with the Soviets, these regions were all ceded back to Russia, effectively cutting off their access to the Arctic Ocean. Very quickly, some notable sites and landmarks would have to be the
Damn sad. You know, Finland deserves those areas.
old castles like Savonlinna, Hämeenlinna,
Russia's already so big.
Olavinlinna, and the most renowned Suomenlinna. You can probably guess what Linna
Lena
means by now.
Castle.
Rovaniemi is otherwise known as the home of Santa Claus, where you can go reindeer sledding.
I've heard Santa Claus lives in Finland.
Inari and Ivalo is where you can get a real Sami traditional cultural experience. Of course, Helsinki
That's awesome.
is the epicenter of Finnish architecture and culture, with landmarks such as the Tempeli Aukia Church excavated into a rock, Mannerheim Street, the busiest
Looks really nice,
road
yeah.
with all the shops and austere post-Soviet influenced blocky colonnaded buildings, or the iconic Helsinki Cathedral. Now those are all great, but Finland isn't really much of a tight metropolitan type of country. They love their space and have quite a bunch of it. Let's see what lies outside these cities, shall we? Now, if you want me to make this simple, some would argue that Finland is the best winter wonderland in the world. I mean, Canada's cool, but they have too many bears, and Iceland is too explodey.
Alaska's pretty nice. You get paid $2,000 a month if you're a citizen. 2,000 USD.
And Russia is too cold. Seriously, though, the land is generally flat, except in the north by the border with Norway, in which the highest mountain can be found, Mount Halti, although the peak is in Norway. However, in 2017, Norway plans to give Finland the peak for their
They never did, I don't think.
100th anniversary of independence from
Of course, Norway.
the Soviets. Finland is just wonderfully crisp and refreshing, usually ranking in the top 3 countries in the world with the cleanest air quality. This is partially because Finland is almost 80% covered in forest, one of the highest concentrations per square kilometer in the world, only behind countries like Gabon and Suriname. This makes Finland the largest producer of wood in the EU and one of the top
Heard timber's very cheap there. They build a lot of their houses in wood. Yeah.
in the world. Not only that, but Finland has about 188,000 lakes, most heavily concentrated in lakeland, and in addition to lakes, about 10% of the country is comprised of all water bodies like rivers, ponds, and streams. When mixed with the land, this makes about 1/3 of the country home to swamps and bogs, making it the highest wetland proportion country in Europe and disputably the world.
Mosquitoes.
Maybe, but our floods are crazier. Fittingly, the name for swamp
Oh, yeah. The floods are definitely crazier in Bangladesh. Monsoon season.
in Finnish is suo, and the word for Finland is suomi. I mean, technically, they also have like 9 other words for swamp, like rame, neva, leto, luhta, laiteko, apa, paisa, yanka, and korpi. And they love these swamps. One Finnish pastime is jumping in the mud, sometimes naked, and either playing soccer or wrestling. The landscape of Finland is shaped that way because imagine what happens when you crush something under a heavy glacier for a really long time, and then after the glacier melts, you're left with pockety erosion erosion and mineral residue all over. Not only that, but Finland is experiencing a post-glacial rebound in which the land is steadily rising along the coast of the Gulf of Bothnia. Every year, Finland gains about 7 square kilometers and is technically rising out of the sea. The longest river is the Kemijoki that passes through Lapland and reaches the Gulf of Bothnia. And the largest lake, as well as the 4th largest in Europe, Lake Saimaa, is located in the southeast. Because Finland is so far north, they are known for being the land of the midnight sun, as during summer you can literally see the sun for 24 hours a day in the northern parts by the Arctic Circle. And of course in the winter times there's hardly any sunlight at all, but if you're lucky you can witness an aurora borealis.
Beautiful.
Especially in the northern parts. Oh, and by the way, the national animals are the whooper swan and the brown bear. Finnish agriculture is of course very standard for northern European countries. Lots of rye wheat, turnips, potatoes, and of course fishing is huge out here. However, due to the abundance of lakes and rivers, Finns prefer their own domestic freshwater fish like perch, zander, and miuku as opposed to the sea fish. Speaking of which, coming to Finland, chances are you will eventually try reindeer meat in some shape or form, whether in stew or grilled. In Lapland, you might even find bear on the menu. You can try mami.
There are reindeer sausages and reindeer sausage in the US as well. Mostly in Canada and mostly in Alaska. Also definitely in Canada too, but yeah.
A pudding made of rye, and of course every Finn will make every visitor try
Venison and deer meat is also pretty common here. Especially if you live in a rural area.
this strong, salty salmiakki.
I've heard of salmiakki, yeah.
They love salmiakki so much that they made it into an ice cream, and it's so good, and I'm so mad they don't sell it in my hometown. Alright, in the wintertime they build ice hotels, and there's this cool waterfall in the Paratisi Kuru area in the Uru Kekkonen National Park. Okay, let's talk about Finnish people. Okay, if you go to Finland, you will most likely experience a rather intense yet intriguing social construct. First of all, the country has about 5.5 million people and is the most sparsely populated country in the EU. The country is about 90% ethnically Finnish, about 6% are Swedish, and the rest is made up of everything else under the sun like Russians, Estonians, Asians, and Africans. They use the euro as currency, they use the type CEF outlets, and they...
A lot of Swedish, I guess, with the colonization and all land and all that, yeah. I definitely didn't pronounce that right.
Drive on the right side of the road. Of course, the Finnish people speak the Finnish language, which is arguably one of the hardest languages on earth to learn. Conjugation is a mess. Nouns and adjectives have inflectionary forms, whatever that means. Nonetheless, Finland has one of the best schooling systems in the world. In Finland, school hours are shorter, less homework is given, and there are virtually no mandated standardized tests apart from the exam you take in your final senior year of high school. Also, if you get your PhD, you have the option to get a sword and a top hat along with your diploma. This is also why Finland is one of the most English-friendly countries in Europe. Children are taught around ages 9 to 11, and most people of the younger generation can at least hold an impressively fluid conversation. Finland is actually a conscription country in which all men ages 18 and up are required to serve either in the military or civilian services anywhere from 165 days to a year.
Good discipline, though.
Depending on the type of service applied for. Åland Islands are exempt from the military conscription, but are required to serve in some kind of institution like the Coast Guard or civil services. Finnish culture is actually pretty funny. The stereotype is that Finns are incredibly
So they're still defending Åland Islanders.
quiet and don't talk that much in most public transactions. Just mind your business and no small talk. The cartoon Finnish Nightmares illustrates this concept pretty well. Check it out. Which is
It's fair enough. Small talk can be annoying, yeah.
funny because Finland is huge on the boisterous, loud, and flashy heavy metal culture, having the highest concentration of heavy metal bands out of any other country in the world with nearly 650 per 1 million residents. Finns also invented the wife.
I like folk metal, though. Like Mongolian throat singing. And some glam metal and glam, there's a lot of metal that I do like as well, but I'm not into death metal at all, so... No grunge, really, yeah. It's just not
Carrying competition in which a man must carry either his wife or girlfriend or any girl that agrees to get tossed around in an obstacle course, and the winner gets the women's weight in beer. It's very strategic because if you want to win, you might want to carry a lighter wife, but if you want more beer, you better do your squats, bro. Now, if you must know one thing about Finnish culture, you have to know about sauna. The Finns invented the sauna. Most homes, hotels, and apartments have a sauna built into them. They actually had a sauna competition at one point, but then a Russian guy died and they had to kind of cancel it. Overall, though, Finns are kind of brought up in a mindset known as sisu. It's kind of hard to explain the exact
Saunas are okay. I mean, I'm not too into it. I mean, there's a lot of saunas, even in the US, actually. Most gyms, spas, places have one. A lot of hotels do as well, but yeah, I actually like the steam room more. But yeah, just not into saunas that much. I like baths, though. That's nice.
Definition of it, but it kind of means something like guts or determination and never giving up, which really
That's
helped them
awesome.
along the fight with the Soviets. Sisu is to Finland what Jantaloen is to Denmark. There are so many other things I wish we could talk about, but we're running
Oh yeah, Nokia, Angry Birds, yeah,
out of time.
Linux.
But we do have time for friend time! Historically, Finland was kind of always a little lonely. I mean, few, if any, trading routes ever went through this area. Even the Mongols were like, we're good. Nah, yeah, carry on. Nonetheless, over time, Finland did develop relations, and to this day is one of the most diplomatically outreached countries in the world. I mean, the Finnish passport is the #1 ranked and most sought after, as it has the highest number of visa-free countries applied to it. First of all, Finland generally gets along with other Nordic countries. However, they have the biggest frenemy relationship with Sweden. They'll trade and share a beer or two, but when hockey season comes, the bloodbath begins. When it comes to Russia, Finland kind of has to be their friend because Russia has the longest border with them and business is important. Nonetheless, Russia is kind of seen as like the next door neighbor that you once got into an argument with, but then you kind of fixed things up, but then you kind of really didn't get over it, and then you have to see them every other day in the morning as you go to work. Germans are always welcome in Finland, and Hungarians are like the long-lost distant cousins that they just discovered and are trying to build a relationship with. Their best
And the brother, our best friend, is Estonia. Yeah.
friends, though, might be Estonia and Norway. Everybody loves Norway. It's like the Cameroon of Europe. Norway has never had any controversy with Finland, and with the recent mountain gift proposal, relations are only strengthened. Estonia is like the nagging little sister that tries to imitate her bigger brother. I mean, they both even have the same national anthems, but in the end, they are family, and Finland always loves her.
And the languages, both, both Finnic languages, and both very, very close. I don't think they're mutually intelligible, but they are very, very close. It's a bit like German, like the German languages. Because a lot of German languages were not mutually intelligible until they sort of made the German state, and then they chose an official, variation, or, standard language that everyone would use. Also a bit like Italian, the Italian unification. A lot of Italian languages are not mutually intelligible. They chose a language that they, forced everyone kind of, standard Italian. I mean, I could see Finland and Estonia doing the same if they ever combined into a country.
In conclusion, Finland
I mean, what with the bridge between Helsinki and Tallinn, I think they're building? It's very, very busy area.
really is a winter wonderland with quiet people that transform into metal monsters after a pint of long drink, topping their days off, baking themselves in human ovens for fun. And with that, we
Finland's pretty epic, yeah. Can't even lie.
the Finnish episode.
I've met some good Finnish people. They're really nice people, I have to say. And direct to the point, efficient. They say what they want to say. Sometimes they're a bit crazy, I will admit, but yeah, generally pretty good people.
Ah, you waited for that for over 10 minutes.
Better than the Swedish.
Stay tuned. The country that must not be named is coming up next.
It's a fun video. Let's check out Flag Friday.
We like the Finland episode. I loved filming it because it brought back so many memories of salmiakki ice cream. No, seriously, I'm like this close to buying a flight ticket there just so that I could buy like a huge box of that ice cream stuff. I'm not even gonna stay at a hotel. My whole trip there will just be me sitting on a bench eating ice cream, and then when I'm done, I'm just gonna fly back. So let's talk about the flag. Without further ado. So you would think this episode is probably gonna be a little simple because I'm
gonna have to admit the flag is a bit boring. Just a Nordic cross. Kind of boring, man. I can't even lie. If they had an emblem, a crest, or something on it, I think it would be a lot cooler. Also, Finland's not really the most Christian of nations either. It's okay as flags. It's okay as far as flags go. It's not terrible. It's not great.
come on, let's be honest. There's not
Just my opinion, of course.
much going on in the Finnish flag. However, yeah, it's true. This episode is going to be pretty simple. The flag of Finland is just a white banner with a blue Nordic cross. Of course, like all other Nordic cross flags, the cross was derived from Christianity. Some people will say that color-wise, the white stands for the winter snows and the blue stands for the blue skies and the thousands of lakes in Finland. The first time that this specific flag configuration was used
That looks so much cooler with that little crest symbol inside of it.
in 1861 by a yacht club, and then it gained popularity. And then all the Russian stuff drama happened.
A yacht club.
And then finally in 1917, they gained their independence from the Soviet Union, and then they re-adopted the same flag again. Also, we should address the flag of Åland, Finland's autonomous region. The flag is basically just the Swedish flag defaced with a second similar red cross over the yellow one. The flag was made official in 1954, even though autonomy was recognized in 1921. For this flag, they kind of unofficially used a bicolor triband of blue, yellow, blue. Fun little side note, the Orkney Islands in Scotland were like, hey, we like the Nordic countries so much that we're jumping on this soul train. And they made their own flag in 2007, which is basically an inverted version of the Åland flag. Now for the coat of arms. The coat of arms
that would be epic on the flag. Oh.
of Finland is made up of a red
Although it is blue and yellow, so not really the most matching.
red shield with a crowned lion brandishing a sword on an armored arm, trampling on a saber with little white roses adorning the rest of the open slots on the shield. It's an
That is epic.
anthropomorphic lion with a metal arm holding a sword. It's like Robo-Lion. For a long time, Finns wanted to replace the lion with a bear because they were like, isn't that our national animal?
That would be cooler.
But they never got around to doing it, so until then, Robo-Lion stands. For a brief year in 1917, right after independence, they used a flag that was basically just the coat of arms.
I actually like this flag better, I can't even lie. Maybe the design in the background could be a little bit more more creative and stuff instead of just red, but it's still pretty nice.
On a red field, and the state flag
That is amazing. Oh man, that's actually an amazing flag. I don't even mind the red because it's like a point of contrast. That's actually a really cool flag in my
is
opinion.
basically just the Nordic cross flag with the coat of arms in the center of the cross. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. Finland is another Nordic country that follows the Nordic cross pattern on their flag, and they live a very chill life. Literally, it gets pretty chilly there. This has been Flag Friday. You've just been flagged. Stay cool, stay tuned.
Alright, that was a good video. Yeah, let's check out the comments for the Finland episode. Seriously, I am this close to buying a flight ticket just to get some salmiakki ice cream. Thanks to all the Finnish geography peeps that helped out with this video. Enjoy. Fun fact, Finland and North Korea is separated by only one country. Finland is rising from the sea. Netherlands, is it possible to learn this power? I heard a friend of mine said that the thing the Finnish police have to do the most, is rescuing metal bands that get lost in the forest while making their albums. Loved this. You absolutely killed it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this video actually taught me stuff. This person's Finnish. So basically Åland is Sweden's ex-girlfriend that got stolen by Finland, and now Sweden wants her back. It got stolen by Russia when Russia got bored and left Åland, and Åland was like, hey, what a nice students did in Finland. Stolen by Russia along with Finland. Given to Finland, then kept by Finland after independence. Virgin Swedish verse. Chad, Finland. This guy is Swedish. Are Swedish people aware that many Finnish people think that all Swedes are? Yep. Happy 100th birthday, Finland. Gives Finland peak of mountain. Oh, you should have. They didn't. They didn't even do it. Oh yeah, they should have because they didn't. I love Finland. From Japan. Canada has too many bears. Meanwhile, in Finland, man scares bear by screaming perkele. I probably didn't pronounce that right, but you know, I like the phonetic. I like how phonetic Finland is, but they still have like. You still can't always say the words correctly. It's a bit like the pitch accent in Japan. Like they also pronounce words phonetically in Japan, but they have this slight different pitch, the way they say it. When you're casually walking and you hear an ow in the snow, Finnish people be like, yeah. Or Russian people be like when they, oh man. Finally, a video which says Finland is a Nordic country, not Scandinavian. Well, I think that's obvious, yeah. I've been to Finland twice so far, and it feels like my second home. I hope I can go back soon. I miss it, and there are surprisingly a lot of commonalities between Finland and Canada. Yeah, I'd imagine there is, yeah. I'm from Finland, and I've actually been thinking that Canada would be the only other country I'd like to live in. Yeah, have this land of mine to celebrate your independence. Huh. Well, they didn't even give it in the end, so. Come on, Norway. I love hearing him pronounce everything wrong. Well, sauna was pretty accurate. Yeah. Yeah, anything with the A or the ooh, wrong. I guess with the O, with the what's it called? The umlaut. I guess the two dots above it. I would say like, that's how I would say it at least. But yeah. I laughed so hard when he said even the Mongols were like, we're good. Fun fact: Helsinki in Swedish and Norwegian is called Helsingfors. I like how this is probably the only video of geography now where he shows small clips of him being in the country. Low school hours, no standardized tests, and not a lot of homework, but is one of the best schooling systems in the world. Wow. Man, this was pretty cool though. Very much enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed my reaction, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Respect to the Finnish peeps and respect to Finland. Bye bye.